Um, I just watched Adolescence. I finished it last night, and wow. So first of all, the way I got recommended this series was like, people have been talking about it like in my spaces, like the type of videos I watch, like they would like essentially like whenever they're talking about toxic, I guess masculinity, I'm going to be using a lot of big words today, but essentially like in those like type of video essays which I didn't watch because I didn't want to be spoiled on the series. I would eventually watch it. But I was kind of like I think I'm like 2 or 3 weeks late on it. Discussion wise. This video probably won't mean anything, but I'm just, spewing my thoughts because it just like I don't know, it just left like I don't say a huge impression, but it kinda did. Like I'm not gonna lie. And what I mean by that is that that like rarely shows that come out like that. First of all, it was like I have to say like the cinematography, like the way they would shoot it, like as if like it was like all one shot. That is very impressive. I don't know how the hell they did it. Like, let me know in the comments section or anything. But the way they showed it is like, oh my god, just like I said, like it still amazes me even think about just outside of like the subject matter it tackles on and like the actors and actresses, giving it their all in their performances. Like just outside of that, like the way this series was shot, like just within 4 episodes, and each episode is like 1 hour long. It's like that is like very impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's 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 mind blowing. I'm not gonna lie because we rarely like a TV series that's like just one shot. Like and maybe the others. I mean, I don't like watch a lot of like series or anything for them nowadays because I'm mostly focused on school stuff. But yeah, it's very impressive. And I also like because I want to like tackle on the subject matter of this how this show does it. And first of all, go watch Adolescence, like because yeah, it's just a very good show. Even like if the subject matter doesn't interest you, I still like recommend it. I'm not gonna lie because it's just a very good show, honestly. Even if the subject matter does not interest you or anything for whatever reason, even though in my opinion, I feel like it should, whether like you like fully agree with what they're doing subject wise or not, then you should definitely like still watch the series. But what else? Oh yeah, and the the performances from especially the kid who played Jamie. Oh my bro. And I hear that's like his first role, so whatever. Sheesh, man. Hey, like after I watched the last episode last night, all I said is that hey, that kid, he has a promising acting career. Like it's going to be some ups and downs. Hopefully, a lot of like ups for him. But yeah, he has like a promising acting career. Because if that was like his first act, because I assumed like, because I recognize like everybody, not everybody, a few first like the guy who plays the police officer like character, like he played Disha from Top Boys, and I think his female partner also played she was in season 5 of Game of Thrones in that one area like subplot. Who else like yeah, even like Jimmy's like dad, like I'm blanking off the names. Like I'm sorry, but yeah, his dad who like I think like I saw him in other roles, and like I think that the last role like he played like he it required him to essentially be very fit and built like that. I'm like, damn, this man he's very like very well built. That's what I gotta say, like and what else? Yeah, just I mean, they all did. Even if I'm not familiar with our works and stuff, those outside of like the ones who I knew from previous works, like honestly, like they all killed it. I'm not, especially that kid. Even like if that's his first thing, yeah, I've already said enough because I don't want to waste. I just want to get straight to and then like the subject matter it tackles. I'm not gonna lie, like like to me, like shows like this should definitely exist, and I'm sure that like shows like this that have existed where like they tackle the subject matter of like how toxic masculinity affects the development of young boys and young girls as well, and not just like even like adults like the parents who are like involved in that like process. Like not just like or how like well the last episode, which hey, I think I almost like got emotional, especially at the end, where like both of his parents were essentially like discussing whether like they did a good job of parenting him, where like the father even like went on to like how do I say this like confess like his own trauma where like his father was like very abusive to the point where like, he would like beat him essentially, and then when he reached adulthood he would essentially like told himself he would never be like his father, to the point where like he would never like hit his son, even like if it required like in my opinion like you shouldn't like hit your child in unless like they do like something like I don't know fucked up or in it whichever like scenarios you want to create in your head. Like to me, I don't believe in beating your child. I believe you can discipline them in other like ways. Like you give them a stern hand, you give them the talk, like just anything besides like hit. Because to me, like if you're going to hit your child, to me hitting your child is like the last resort, in my opinion. And I was talking to other people in like online and stuff like or like I see other people like, oh, he should have like, disciplined the child, like or I'm like, to me it's like they did all the best they could. Like even the mom, like she's like very like attentive, like from the first episode where like the kid gets arrested for being like caught, essentially. Where like she's very attentive, like, oh, like the kid is afraid of needles, he's this and that, he's I think did they say he's lactose intolerant? I don't remember. Like so she's very like even like in that same episode as well, the father being like, "Why do you need to like search or pat down my son? Like that's very inappropriate." And he's going like, and then the the officers explain to him where like, oh, they have to do this because of procedure or whatever, or they have to pat him down, da, da, da. And then like the son, like while he's getting pat down, they don't show it, which thank God they don't show it. Yeah, and then but they're showing like the father's like face well, like he has to see it to make sure like the two like officers who are patting him down don't do any funny business. You know what I'm saying? So and even then, it's going smoothly. You can still like see his anger in that. Was like, okay, both of them like they care for their children. Like and even the way like, well, I'm not going to lie. I don't think like the sister was like very well like developed in the show, but that's a nitpick. I'm not going to get into, but yeah, like they did their best from that perspective. So the fact that they're beating themselves like this, where like, or the son like basically murdered this girl because I don't spoil all the things because, like I said, go watch like Adolescence. It's a very good show. It's just very good. Like and outside of like I said, it's just good because it's not just about like oh, it's not just the parents. It was also like his friends who probably like affected the way like the decisions that led to that. Like parenting, like the way your child develops. It's not just like your parenting, like it's not just comes from the parents. Let me say this. It's other like outside sources that do affect the child's development. Like that, like school friends, other adult figures outside of the parents, maybe like the uncles, aunties. Like they briefly like talk about like they briefly talk about like his grandfather slash I'm guessing I don't know if it was from his father's or mom's side. Like I think from his father's side. I think the same father who like abused like his father when I keep forgetting the character's name. Yeah, like as it was explained in the last episode which I watched. I think it's the same grandfather. I think I don't know if they're talking about grandfather or grandmother. My memory is very bad. Sorry. I can't remember everything. So yeah, like something along those lines. And because in this case, it was obviously not just like oh he had like shitty like friends who not indoctrinated, but the kid obviously absorbed their ideas, and also the internet also had a huge part because the they were like they dove into the whole like manosphere stuff where like it affected like talking about this whole red pill and blue pill shit. Even like I think like the police officer's son had to like essentially explain the court because the police officer is like he's an old head who doesn't get like the whole social media stuff, and his son had to like explain to him to like essentially let to or like the girl who was like murdered before then, essentially like he was making fun of him for essentially being like I don't know, like just go watch the series. You I feel like you need to form your own opinions and not like because I'm just spew my own opinion. But yeah, like it's just like it delves into because I don't like usually watch like shows like that all the time, but rarely like I would like okay let me like watch something that would like delve into this something this very serious like subject matter very like in detail or like whether it's like a political issue or like it's delving into a part of history that is very whitewashed, things of that nature. Like I like to like or documentaries I guess, like stuff like that. Like I I enjoy to occasionally watch this, not all the time because like because that type of stuff to me is like it's very depressing, but it's also like stuff that people need to watch that will broaden their horizons. Like I like to watch stuff, social media in general, that will that involves a lot of critical thinking in my part, and this is I feel like this is one of them. The show is not perfect or anything, but I think I mentioned one of the problems were like I think Jamie's sister is not like when it comes to like the family dynamic, she's not like very like well like developed or as the other like her parents, So, but that's like a nitpick, and other nitpicks as well as let me think. Like they also like didn't delve into like the perspective of like the victim's parents that much. I would have liked to see a part of that, just even a bit. Like I know that's the whole point of the show is to show the aftermath of like how this very toxic ideology and very dangerous in my opinion, can lead to shit like this, if not worse, and it can like ruin people's lives. Like not just like not just the victim's parents, but also like the person who murdered the girl, like what like his life is essentially ruined. Like I don't know how the British like I don't know how like the justice system in the UK works with to juvie, but does it have to be like in juvie? He's probably going to have to be in juvie until like he gets a proper trial as an 18-year-old or 16. I don't know, like and then like there's the parents who probably will never like see their son for like maybe a long time, if not ever, and they have to do, and then even in the last episode they have to like essentially like deal with fucking weirdos online, essentially harassing them and all that stuff. Even though it's like it's technically not their fault. It's like it's the actions of the son that led to that horrible tragedy, even like the friends of the girl were like one of the friends was like I think she's like ostracized or like she has no one to essentially like be friends with. It was literally only her, and when she died it that just left a gaping hole in her heart essentially, and she's basically all alone. And even like Jamie's friends, how like they essentially like they knew, and it's like even the school that they went to, and it's like a horrible like environment for like the teachers, not only the teachers and the kids as well. So yeah, like man, I've yapped a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, just go watch the show. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not expecting this video to get any like significant views or anything like that, but I just want to like like when I watch something or play something, I'll just like yeah, just talk about it. So yeah, but yeah, that's like I guess my pseudo review, my thoughts on the show, and like I said, from the title, I'll probably name it like, "Hey, go watch Adolescence, you cowards," or whatever. Not exactly like that, but hey, yeah, it's a very good show nonetheless, and yeah, it's definitely worth your time. I think it has 4 episodes. Each episode is like an hour long. It has, I think, like the thing that I will show you is like they shoot the whole thing one shot in each episode. Like there are no cuts. Like I'm not even joking. That's not in and it also not only that, it also tackles a very serious subject matter that should be tackled delicately. And I'm sure there's other stuff that I can talk about when it comes to that aspect, but yeah, like just go watch it and form your own opinions. And yeah, I'll see you next time, I guess, on something that I find interesting to watch or play or whatever. So yeah, that's about it. See you.